Today, we're going to talk about a man who understood freedom better than almost anyone. And what's so wild is that legally, he was somebody else's property. His name was Epictetus, a slave who somehow became the master of his own soul. And let me be super clear here. I don't mean that as a metaphor. He wasn't a slave to his job or anything like that. Nope. Epictetus was born a literal slave, owned by a pretty powerful guy in Emperor Nero's court. His body was just not his own. So the story goes that one day, his master, a guy named Epaphroditus, just flew into a rage. We have no idea why. Maybe Epictetus made a mistake, maybe it was for no reason at all. But in that moment, his master decided he was going to show him who was in charge. He grabs Epictetus's leg and just starts to twist it, deliberately, cruelly. Just imagine that for a second, the slow, agonizing buildup of pain. This wasn't quick. This was a performance of power. But here's where it gets strange. Epictetus didn't scream. He didn't beg. He didn't fight back. Instead, he just looks at his master, totally calm in the middle of all this agony, and warns him about what's about to happen. That's all he said. It will break. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a plea. It was just a statement of fact, like he was watching it happen to someone else's body. Well, this incredible calm might have just made the master even angrier. He didn't stop. He kept twisting, determined to break not just the bone, but the spirit of this man. And with a sickening crack it did, the bone snapped. Because of this one act of brutality, Epictetus would walk with a limp for the rest of his life. His body was permanently broken. So, what was his response? Did he scream in pain? Did he curse his master? No. He just looked up and said almost curiously, "Did I not tell you it would break?" Now this moment, this right here, is the key to everything. How on earth is that possible? His reaction wasn't superhuman. It wasn't magic. It was the result of a single, incredibly powerful idea that he lived his life by. An idea called the dichotomy of control. It's the question we all have, right? It just seems impossible. But for Epictetus, the answer lies in making a really simple but profound distinction. Figuring out what you can control and what you absolutely cannot. See, Epictetus split the whole world into two buckets. In one bucket, you have the things that are truly up to us, our judgments, our intentions, our character, what we choose to desire. And in the other bucket, well, that's everything else, our body, our reputation, our stuff, the final outcome of things. His broken leg, that was firmly in the second bucket. And there it is, the dichotomy of control. This is the bedrock of Stoicism. The big idea here is that real peace doesn't come from trying to control that not up to us bucket. It comes from pouring all of your energy into the only bucket you actually have power over, the up to us one. And this chart really nails our modern problem, doesn't it? Think about it. Most of our anxiety, our stress, our frustration, it comes from getting tangled up in stuff we can't control. We obsess over outcomes, what other people think, all these variables that are out of our hands. Epictetus would say we're just setting ourselves up for misery. Okay, so this is more than just a neat little thought experiment. It's a practical guide for living. So let's talk about how we can actually put this philosophy to work in our day-to-day lives. All right, here's tool number one. An event, any event, is neutral. It's just a thing that happened. Getting stuck in traffic isn't inherently bad. A critical email from your boss isn't inherently a disaster. It's our judgment, our interpretation that says this is a catastrophe. That's what creates all the suffering. And that judgment, that's 100% up to us. This illustrates the point perfectly. The exact same event can happen to two different people, and they can have completely different experiences. For one person, it's the end of the world. For another, it's a chance to practice patience or to get creative. The event didn't change at all. The internal response did. Let's be honest. Most of us walk into a tough situation asking this very question. It's all about me, what I want, how I feel, what I can get out of it. It puts our own ego right at the center of everything. But Epictetus taught us to flip the script, to ask a much better question. He called it role ethics. Instead of focusing on your wants, you focus on your duties. In this very moment, what does being a good parent require? What does being a good friend require? It shifts the focus away from selfish desire and towards virtuous action. And we all have these roles, right? We're parents, children, friends, citizens, professionals. These roles give us a kind of pre-written script for how to act with character. So when you're not sure what to do, just look at your role. The answer is often right there, waiting for you. Okay, so we've heard the story, we've gone over the theory. Now, let's make this about you. How can you take this slave's guide to freedom and actually apply it to your life, like right now? Here's a really powerful exercise you can do. Grab a piece of paper. On one side, list every single thing you're worried about. Then, go through that list and honestly sort each item into those two columns we talked about. You're probably going to find that most of your worries are in the not up to us column. And the last step, this is the hardest part, is to consciously decide to stop wasting your energy there and pour it all into the stuff you can actually control. Now, this doesn't mean you have to stop caring about things. The Stoics had a great term for stuff like health or wealth or success, preferred indifference. It's totally fine to prefer them. Who wouldn't? But the key is that your inner peace can't depend on them. True calm comes from your character, which no one can ever take away from you. And this really is the ultimate takeaway. This is the one thing nobody can ever touch. The traffic jam, the illness, the betrayal, the failure, those things are just the stimulus. But the response, what you do next, the meaning you give it, the character you show, that space belongs to you, and you alone. So think about it. Epictetus, a man literally in chains, found a kind of freedom that emperors could only dream of. It wasn't out there in the world. It was inside his own mind. That exact same freedom is available to every single one of us right now. The only question is, will you choose to use it?